That recording. Hello, everybody. It's Comic the Mike here. For those of you who, well, for most people who watch this video, this is the first time you'll be hearing my voice. A friend of mine recommended this, so I'm trying it out. It's a horror visual novel type deal. Seems kind of fun, actually. Hmm. The wind clawed at my window all night. It wandered the fields out like a hungry beast. The endless song weaved from all sorts of voices, shrill, gentle, sneery, twined in the air. They were shouting and laughing, and arguing about something. Someone was running through the snow, casting long shadows that would occasionally creep close to my bed. Oh, shit. Our house had a mind of its own. The creaky old mind of a building that had seen a lot in its days was seemingly trying to share its wisdom with the inhabitants. The lonely house faced the forest, and the dark green thicket grazed back with its hollow eyes, rustling, whizzing, swaying back and forth. One could come out and stand at the edge of the forest to reassure themselves there was nobody behind the crooked trees. Fuzzy silhouettes swaying in the wind could possibly do any harm. It's all just a play of light and shadow, just a play. I knew it was my imagination. I was only 12 after all. Still. Hey, put away your book. How many times have I told you not to read at the table? It's bad for your health. Look at how slouched you are. I didn't protest and put the book about Conan the Barbarian aside. I was stuck on a line I couldn't understand after reading it 3 times anyway. Nola had already finished her breakfast and was munching on some cookies. She was so enthusiastic she almost looked like your typical girl from commercials. You're not going anywhere until you finish all of it. I on the other side, I on the other hand was trying to drill a hole in with my eyes as if it would make the porridge disappear. Hazy anxiousness welled up inside, all because of the previous sleepless night, the black forest around our house, and the gloomy wind. And the longer I waited, the colder the lumpy white substance became. It looked like a jellyfish from the Cold House 2 Odyssey. I love that show. I wonder how horrifying the bottom of the ocean is. Pretty fucking terrifying, my friend. Or how cold the black forest is probably fucking freezing. The spoon fell out of my hand. Mom showered me with a cold glare from her green eyes. What did I just say? I don't get it. I had 10 seconds to catch my breath before battling the nasty porridge once again. I felt around for the spoon. What is this? Carved on the side of the table. Karina. That's my mom's name. I guess she carved it out with some pointy something. Oh, Jesus. I guess she carved it out with something pointy when she was little. She sure was a rascal, damn, to the furniture like that. She would scold me if I did something like that or something like that. Should I remind her about it? No, she's been in a bit of a bad mood lately. I imagine her being my age sitting under this table. I wonder, was Mom afraid of the dark back then? With sounds coming from the attic, or the thick forest? I imagine my grandma coming in my little mom's room, sitting at the edge of a bed where Oil sleeps nowadays, and saying this in her soft, smooth voice. Daria is a special place, little girl. It's watching you closely, sniffing you out, trying to discern what kind of beast you are. If you're the good sort, it won't abandon you in times of trouble. But if you're a bad apple, it'll grab you by the side and drag you under the ground. And that would be it. Grandma was caring. She never fought with anybody, never yelled, never swore. Those were the times without the madding screams until late at night, without smashed dishes and mutual accusations. Her parents used to love each other back then. I remember listening in on one of the conversations by chance. They were talking about Grandma getting prepared for a funeral. She had already bought a casket. She called it her cute funeral box. It waited for its time in the closet, patiently. It was black, upholstered with meat-colored material inside, and I saw it when my grandma was buried, was getting buried. The house didn't change since the time she was alive. Only all of the photos were gone. Glass-covered pictures of the grave faces of my ancestors. They were all had a dead but watchful look in their eyes, and I crawled out from under the table. Although I was done with the cookies and was looking at my show like a sly woodland critter, turned my gaze toward the frosted window. There were a lot of dark pines outside, but they didn't grab my attention. The pattern of frost formed on the glass. Oh, look, it's a fox. Where? I can't do a little girl's voice. It almost looked like there was a. Sorry about that. Need help, cat? Nah, I'll move that stuff when I'm done. It almost looked like an optical illusion thingies that they put on the back of student notebooks. A mixture of lines at first glance, but if you blow your vision a little bit, under a certain angle. Not outside, on the window. Look, there's the nose, and here's. Hey, eat up! Yeah, just a moment. I don't see anything. Hurry up, there's not much left. Ah, there it is, but it still doesn't look like one. I'm telling you it does. Nuh-uh, it does. Stop. Stop it, these kids, I swear. It disappeared. Went away. Only the frosty pad and some of the stretched out nettle leaves kept creeping up the glass. My dad entered the kitchen with long, measured steps. And Mom would always ask jokingly, "Come on, shave it off. It stings." That was so long ago. Nowadays, rumbling doors and witty comebacks were an everyday occurrence. Ella always covers her ears whenever she hears something like, "What's the point in all this through the wall?" And it's all for your sake, I would reply, and it's for the sake of our family. Yeah. I always caught every sound of fear. I always caught every sound and fearing the most dread word, and the deadliest word that started with the D. Ah, I don't even want to finish it. Divorce is pretty scary. It was scary that me and my little sister could be torn apart and taken into two different families. Anyway, your fox is nothing. I have an owl in my window. You and your owl talk again. You said you believed me just yesterday. Has anybody seen my car keys? Oh, son of a... What the hell? Ignore, I don't care. Right. Maybe you did, maybe not. You're a grown man, a father of two, and still. Karina, please stop. Just let me get ready in peace. Your keys are in the basket near the phone. Well, thank you very much. Anton, stop making matter out of yourself and the owl. There was no owl. But there was one. It had giant glowing eyes. Liz sprang up from the chair and placed her hands on her little face, imitating a pair of eyes with her fingers the size of an apple each. Last year you had Bobby Eye in your closet. Now this owl? But I saw it. Damn. I'm not good at editing. These are just gonna be long pauses. Let's shift back and forth from her dad, mom to me. Couldn't find any support. Oh, for fuck's sake. You know, like it. You know, like feeding with imaginary mice. Don't bully our girl. She's just afraid to sleep alone because she's little. pouted her lips in rebellion, and rushed into the hallway. The staircase that led to the second floor creaked. Mom gave Dad a strict look. Oh, that look in her eyes was so uncomfortable to be pinned under. Dad just snorted in reply and left, ringing the keys he just found. I'm sorry, no worry. Said that. A minute had passed, and the theme song from the Little Mermaid, from the Little Mermaid echoed through the house. It was stored on an incredibly worn-out cassette tape, which Dad and Nori had glued together once. It's so easy to fix objects by gluing them back together, for example. But how do you fix a relationship? That is the question. Mom moved to the living room, and I was left alone, anxiously stealing glances at the window. Well, I had trouble sleeping ever since we moved into this house. She would toss and turn or curl up into a ball under her blanket. Sometimes she would jump in the middle of the night and turn on the VCR. Cartoons helped her take off her mind off all the troubles we had with moving our parents. And then all of a sudden, said that she saw a giant flying monster outside her window. She became obsessed with it. Our parents did everything in their power, and they tried every little trick to get rid of those ridiculous fears, or they refused to sleep alone and didn't believe that was just one of her nightmares. After the night, I was unsure of what to make of my sister's words, what to think of it myself. Can nightmares be infectious? Just last night, I couldn't get a weekend's sleep and ended up thinking of what to expect in my new school. There were a couple days before the beginning of a new term. My imagination drew long, twisting hallways that led to a classroom full of kids. But all the students behind their desks were simply dark figures cut out using a template. Circular holes gaped in the middle of their faces, and pairs of eyes blinked inside those holes. It was as if some completely different creatures were looking at me from behind flat black silhouettes. Their cruel glares, filled with icy sneers, made me shiver from head to toe. Will I survive here? Won't they gang up on me and beat me down, stomp me with their bloody shoes? The damn school can burn for all I care. I just wish for anything to happen to it. Doesn't really matter what, and I didn't want to go there that badly. I didn't want to see people who were just itching to smack me on the head, trip me up, think of a new offensive name for me, worse than the previous one. I felt like the glasses I wore made me an outsider, some sort of monster. My gaze slid across the drawings hanging on the hallways. I couldn't consider myself a great artist, but they begged me to hang them up. Drawing was the only thing that made me happy as of late. The small circle of friends I had also enjoyed my paintings, and they promised to call me from time to time. Sometimes I imagined my mom picking up the phone and saying in a cold voice, "You got the wrong number." Or Anton is not around. Anton is not around. Imagine my future classmates lying in their beds just like me, listening to the howls of invisible werewolves outside their windows. Maybe my new classmates will like me after all, but who would ever like a boy with thick glasses? I mean, my dad used to wear glasses when he was little, and now he's married to the most beautiful woman on the planet, my mom. They creaked, pressed by the wind. The condo we used to live in, a 9-floor concrete building, buzzed with all the neighbors' drills, mumbled with the TV set from behind the wall, cried like a baby from the big family next door. Our current house, though, I can't really call it new. Our current house, though I can't really call it new, was completely different. It was silent and easy going during the day, and shadows lay dormant in the corners. on the closet, cobwebs, and other stairs. But they all woke up during the night. Something was watching me from every corner. Also, the old photos of my deceased family with their ashen eyes were hanging on the walls in place of my drawings. The floor squeaked. Rusty drains were moaning. The attic was occupied by nosy drafts. One could think the house was performing some sort of demonic melody. Then I realized I was in fact hearing music. It was already playing for a good while. Something edged my perception. I could hear a flute. It was mixed with the sound of wind creaking in the old house. My thoughts, too. I'm back, by the way. It was mixed with sound in the wind, the creaking of the old house. My thoughts, too. I stood up and rushed to the window. I wanted to reassure myself that this music was nothing more than a product of my imagination. It's not like someone was playing it there amidst the cold, snowy night, right? Oh dear. Oh no. Someone was dancing the field. Black silhouettes I could barely make out, with the dark forest as a backdrop. They jumped around, basked in moonlight, bumped in piles of snow, rolled around, and crawled on all fours. Stories about wolves playing under the moon came to mind, but these were clearly not wolves. They stood right upright at times, circled around, holding hands, whipping up snow, disappearing into the shadows for a brief moment, then coming back. Something bizarre was going on. The shadows dancing in this starless abyss made my imagination go wild, making me anxious at the same time. Suddenly the music stopped. The dancing shadows froze in place, and I could swear pierced me with their eyes. One of the silhouettes immediately parted from the bizarre shadow carnival and sprinted across the field with giant leaps. Don't like that. It glided across the squeaky snow without leaving any prints until it was devoured by the pitch-black shadow of my house, which became even darker and thicker. My heart was jumping around like the bird inside a cage. I shut the curtains with a swift motion and stepped back towards the bed. They saw me. A freezing torrent of fear washed over me. I stood in the middle of a perfectly dark room and listened to some unwanted guys move and scrap around, looking for an entrance. The sound moved to the right, then circled around the house. Now my guest should be at the front door. I jumped. Oh, shit. I think it was I jumped under the covers, right? Yeah, I jumped on the bed, covered myself with a blanket as if it could protect me. The shackles of fear locked my muscles. I remembered the funeral of my grandma lying there, hands crossed on her chest, her facial features sharp like that of a tin doll. Ants running up and down the legs of chairs that held my grandma's casket. Imagine those little creatures climbing up her head and pulling on her eyelids with their tiny legs. Her wrinkly eyeballs would once more move inside their sockets, and she'd be able to see her grandchildren. I was chanting the spell she taught me throughout the whole procedure. And now, lying in the blanket and listening to sweet snarls, I was repeating the same words. On the island of Boan, underneath the blemished sun, in the sea of color blue, stands a cabin made of wood. They lay lard and ashen hair for the spawn from the devil's lair to feast and always leave alone God's faithful servant named Anton. Evil leave this house must, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Bizarre sounds had disappeared. I cautiously peeked out from under the blanket and saw the curtains waving around like hangmen. And then the night doused me with a new portion of boiling terror. The sound scratched my eardrums. I don't like that sound. I mean, you guys can hear me, right? Oh yeah, you can definitely hear me. Oh, shit. Wrong thing. In reality, something or someone was scratching at the front door, hurriedly clawing at the wood demanding to be let in. The door was shut. Dad had become very cautious recently, so he installed a sturdy lock. I remembered him staring at the forest intently as if he was looking for someone. Ash to ashes, dust to dust. I hugged my knees and placed my chin between them. God damn. Alright. Bridges and so much saliva. I hugged my knees as mentioned between them, then drilled the door with my eyes. It was so flimsy and weak before the might of the darkness. Then, oh no. The doorknob twitched slightly. And I turned halfway, once, twice, as if the person who had tried to enter had no hands. The door tilted once more, and then it started clicking violently. My jaw cramped from fear. My wet fingers clutched the blanket. The door creaked open. The wind taunted me, moaning inside the tin drains, and now you'll see. The door was. Oh no, is that a thing? Oh, that was a thing on my screen. I thought it was an eye. The door was wide open. The darkness writhed inside the carnivorous mouth of the doorway. Tony. It was as if the night itself was calling out to me, flapping its black wings and squeaking with rusty hinges. I was trembling and snared by the web of darkness that hung in the corners of my room, waiting for the one who weaved it open to come out of the gaping black hole. Tony. My abdomen tightened, my chest rose up, ready to exhale, desperate to scream, but before I was able to do anything, the darkness asked me, Tony, you asleep? My sister's pale face protruded the thick shadows. I almost screamed from relief. Ola? Orla? Is it Ola or Ola? I'm saying Ola. Ola, I'm not sleeping. Did something happen? Ola frowned and stuck out her lower lip, a clear sign she was about to cry. It's there again, staring at me. Sure, wait, Tony, please. So scared. The fear that was tormenting me just a minute ago crawled away and hid somewhere in my stomach. I needed to calm all down. Was it a dream, silly? Don't be scared. Dreams don't bite. No one's gonna harm you. Ola sobbed. She was trying her best to believe me. But was I sure myself? I have an idea. Let's go to your room and watch the video of Sleeping Beauty, for example. You like that cartoon, don't you? Why does Sleeping Beauty have the prince and I have the scary bird? That question took me by surprise. Alright, let's watch Cinderella. My thoughts became tangled, fuzzy. What was that? What struck me with its eyes while dancing fiercely under the moon? The darkness was clinging to the window, and it couldn't be fooled by Grandma's old chants. Couldn't be satisfied with the face of lard and long ashen hair. I don't like this. Tony, you coming? Yeah, just a moment. Oh, yeah, you're dead. I don't like those sounds. Oh, the animated cutscenes. That's why I didn't want to laugh at Oila near Owl in the morning. They could be visiting us here in the middle of nowhere. We don't know anyone around here. So persistent, I felt extremely unsettled from just the silly thought that our morning guest could have come from the woods. I could barely hear voices coming from the door. My mind was urging me to hide. The closet, under the table, behind the curtains where all those hides. Tony, come here. Like kettleballs were tied to my feet, but still dragged them towards the hallway. A couple of policemen towered over me in the doorway, and they smelled like frost and worry. My mom always winced and grumbled the moment she saw patrol cars, worse than bandits. At the moment, though, she looked somewhat confused. Hello. Senior officer wore a grim expression. A boy had gone missing yesterday. His name's Vova. Look at this, please. Have you seen him? The policeman held a photograph to me. There was a ginger boy around the age of an elementary school, pictured with a wall carpet as the backdrop. He had a striped cat in his hands and wore a white smile. No, I haven't. You sure? Look closely. Where would I see him? I don't know anyone around here. I barely leave the house. Well, maybe you've seen him from the window. That's right. Your windows look straight at the forest, don't they? The window. No, I haven't seen anything. I see. He sounded tired, but his eyes, his stare, long and heavy, was full of suspicion. I squirmed unflinchingly under the weight of the guilt which his giant shadow, cast over me. The policeman finally tore his eyes from me and glanced over the hallway, the stairway, and the cracks in the ceiling, which I haven't noticed before for some reason. How do you like your new place? Getting used to it? Bit by bit. It's just her little daughter misses the city a lot. Misses the city, huh? And the locals been treating you well? Yeah, everything's fine, thank you. The policeman pierced through me one more time with his gray eyes, and my head started spinning. Can I help you somehow? I said in a shaky voice, which looked like a polite boy, and I ended this unpleasant conversation sooner. Now I think about it, you look just one of my nephews, little fella. He was a witty boy around your age, wears the same type of goggles. Always engrossed in reading those mystery novels. Told me he wants to enroll in police school when his family visits this summer. Wanted to help other people just like me, see? I felt uncomfortable as a distant relative and not a police officer stood before me. You know what? Little boys like you should stay at home, stay away from trouble. Times have changed so much. Mom interjected in a cold voice. You don't say. Nah, well then. What grade are you in, Tony? 6th. Have you made any friends so far? Not yet. I'll be going to school for the first time after break. Then I'll leave you my number just in case. Call me if you have any new info. The policemen were gone along with their shadows, the smell of cheap cologne, and a photo of a smiling boy. His face still stood before my eyes. I wondered what it was like for him, being all alone there. For some reason, I thought the forest, swinging in the wind. What did his poor parents feel? What would my parents do if I got missing? Would they cry, or thrash around hysterically, or would they accuse each other like they always do and forget about me eventually? Mom, this Boba, did he go missing in our forest? Seems like it. Poor child. I looked out the window at the road, and the police UAZ drove off toward the village. That officer's nephew came to mind when I was splitting off the old paint from the windowsill. I remembered all the teenage mystery novels from the Black Kitty series I read this summer. You average boys and girls investigated all sorts of mysteries there. They looked for clues, spy on suspicious people, and after a set of amazing adventures, bam! Solved any complicated case. Being local celebrities and must have made their parents very proud. They also trailed policemen's footprints that led to the forest. And then it clicked in my head. Well, I started an investigation of my own. Maybe I'll find the lost boy. And I'll get a reward. I'll be so happy. And not only Ola, but Mom and Dad as well. Maybe they'll even forget about their quarrels for a while. Maybe I'll even save us from the D word. Parents said about buying a Tamagotchi and getting a cassette player and a bunch of tapes for myself. A whole box of Kinder Surprise. When was the last time our parents bought us any toys? Last autumn, I think. Oh, shit. I had no idea what the accountant's job was like. They count money, I think. Neighbors used to envy us, but nowadays Mom and Dad barely had enough money to afford sweets, and Dad would always divide a single chocolate bar between me and Anna. I sometimes gave her my share, too. No matter how much I wanted to eat sweets, she was still just a pipsqueak. I couldn't wait to go out looking for clues. I'm going outside. Yeah, right. You want the police go around with your photograph next? The forest is so thick. What if the boy was snatched up by wild animals or something even worse? Even worse. I go in the hallway. I won't go far. I'll stay away from the forest. Did you hear what I said? Or should I repeat myself? Better go and pack your school bag to play with Laura. Instead of splashing water into the kitchen, I meant the argument was over and Mom had the last word. Well, oh boy. How long have I been doing this? Well, that about does it for right now, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't, well, sorry. Well, later.